If you're a consultant, freelancer, or agency and you're looking for a plug-and-play system that you can sell to literally any business, this is it. Every business wants more referrals. Every business wants more leads. And most of them are not using automation to make that happen. I built a simple system that turns a simple form submission into a full-blown referral engine without the $500 a month SaaS subscription. It auto-creates a referrer, generates their unique link, emails it to them, logs the record in Airtable, and even handles email unsubscribes. Want to run the system for your clients? Charge a few $100 a month and easily stack $3,000 to $5,000 in retainers. Want to use it in your own business? It's a one-time setup that can literally bring you a perpetual pipeline of warm leads. I show you how to help businesses save time and make more money, and get yourself paid by doing so. So if that's your thing, hit the like button and subscribe, and let's dive in.
Okay, we're going to be building two workflows. On the first workflow, your affiliate is going to enter their first name, their last name, and their email address. So those are the only three pieces of information that we're collecting on the form submission. Then we're going to be using FirstPromoter to create an affiliate, and then we're going to get that person's affiliate link and then send them a message. And then lastly, create a record in Airtable. And the Airtable database is going to look like this. So it's very simple. So just email as single line text, first name and last name as single line text, a number which represents the FirstPromoter ID, and then a checkbox to say whether or not they're still subscribed to the emails. And basically why that's important is you need to give people the ability to opt out. Like that's a compliance and regulatory thing. So if they're not able to say, hey, I don't want to receive emails anymore, then that's going to be bad for you or for the business that you're building this for. And so we also have this second workflow that we're going to build that allows people to unsubscribe easily without you having to use an email autoresponder, which is just going to be an additional cost to either you or the business that you're building this for. Okay, you're also going to need to sign up for a FirstPromoter account. And so FirstPromoter is just firstpromoter.com, and you get a 14-day free trial. So if you're building this to demo it for a business, then you're not actually having to pay for the $49 a month for the subscription. Okay, but let's get started building the first workflow. So what we're going to need to do is we're going to have a form submission trigger. And the form title and description is basically just what the person that's signing up for your affiliate or referral program, what they're going to see. So we're going to say, join our affiliate program. And then the description, we're going to give them a little bit of additional information, and we'll say, please check your email 5 minutes after submitting this form. And we're just telling them 5 minutes, even though it's going to happen way quicker than that, just so that they're not expecting it literally immediately. And then they contact you and start freaking out. Okay, now we're going to add form element, and we're going to call this first name. It's going to be text, and it is required. All of the form elements are required on this. Then we're going to do last name, and that's required. And lastly is email address. And we're going to change the element type for this one to email. And I'm just going to name this referral demo. Okay, so the next node we're going to add is an HTTP request. And so be sure that you have your FirstPromoter account set up, because basically it's going to take that information that was submitted by a form, and it's going to create that promoter or that affiliate, that referrer in FirstPromoter. And so all we need is the first and last name and the email address. But this is going to be a post request, and the URL is this one right here. And this is just pulled straight from the API documentation for FirstPromoter. Okay, and we're going to need to send headers. So we're going to be sending the following headers: account dash ID and authorization. And then we're also going to toggle send body on, and we're going to send JSON using JSON, and then we'll define it below. Okay, so in the JSON, we're going to be dynamically mapping email, first name and last name, and then we're going to be hard coding the initial campaign ID right here. And so stay tuned, because I'm going to show you how we're going to dynamically map those in just a second. But what we need to do now is go over to FirstPromoter and grab our account ID and our API key. So we're going to head over to our FirstPromoter account. We're going to go up here and click settings, click on integrations. And then your account ID is going to be something that you can just copy right here on the right-hand side. And then we actually don't want this legacy version 1 API key. We want to click this button that says Manage API Keys. And so now we're going to add a new key. I'm going to call this n8n demo and click Create. Okay, and then that's going to pop up with the new API key. So I'm going to copy that And then I'm going to come back over to the HTTP request. So for the value, you're going to type in bearer space and then your API key. And then up here for the account ID, that's where you're going to paste in your account ID. Okay, let's go back to the canvas and save this. And now we are going to test this so that we can get some data in here and I can show you how we're going to create that promoter via API. All right, so I'm going to execute this step and I'm just filling in some test data and clicking submit. Okay, so we can see the output right here. So everything came through correctly. Okay, so now we're going to come back into our HTTP request. And now I want to add these fields over here to my JSON body that's going to be sent as the parameters for this request. So I'm going to drag and drop first name over here in between these quotes, do the same with last name, and do the same with email. And then right here where it says your campaign ID, this is how you get your campaign from FirstPromoter. So we're going to come to FirstPromoter, go to campaigns. We're going to click on the campaign that's just like the default one that's set up. And right here at the very top in the URL, this 33205, that is the number that we need. Okay, so we'll come back over to n8n and we're going to just hard code that number in our JSON body. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do after we've created the promoter is we're going to grab their affiliate link. So we're going to need another HTTP node. And I'm actually just going to duplicate this one and rename it for clarity. So we're going to come in here and change this to a GET request. And we're going to change the URL to this one. So we are grabbing information about promoters. And what we need to do is we're going to dynamically map the promoter ID right here so that we can get information about them because this is how we grab their affiliate link. So my header parameters are already set with the account ID and the authorization because we just copied and pasted the other node and are making some tweaks to it. And then we can come over here and turn off the send body button. Okay, so let's go back to our canvas and test this out. Okay, so first I'm going to test the create the affiliate node. So I'm going to click the play button. Okay, so it successfully executed. And if we come in here, we can see that the affiliate was created in FirstPromoter and this is the ID. So this is specific to FirstPromoter and that's how the affiliate is identified. Okay, so now we're going to go back out to our canvas. And now what we want to do is get their affiliate link so that we can immediately send it to them via email. But first we need to come in here and map the affiliate ID to the end of this URL so that FirstPromoter API knows exactly what promoter that we're looking for the information for them. So all we're going to do is drag and drop this ID from the previous node all the way over here to the very end of the URL and make sure there's no space between the slash and the dynamically mapped expression. So it should look like this. Okay, so let's test this out. Okay, and now we can see if we scroll all the way down to the bottom, we can see the referral link, which is their affiliate link, and that's what we're going to send them right now via email so that they can start promoting for our business or the business that we're building this system for. If you're getting value from this, hit the like button, subscribe, and now let's dive into the email mapping. Okay, so now we're going to add a Gmail node. Obviously, if you're not using Gmail, you can use the send an email feature and just use the SMTP mapping. But we are going to come down here to send a message. I'm going to connect this with my own Gmail account credentials. For the to email, we want to drag and drop the email from over here. And then the subject is just going to be, welcome to the XYZ Business Referral Program or Affiliate Program. It really just kind of depends on the business that you are working with or whatever your business is, if you prefer to call it referral or affiliate. We're going to leave the email type as HTML. And then we are going to write our message in here. Okay, so the email is just going to say, hi, and then let's go open the on form submission and map the first name. So hi, first name. Thanks for joining our affiliate program. Here are some helpful tips and tools to help you get started. And then you can put a link right here, and that could be like a Google Drive folder. That could be a YouTube video that shows different ways to promote the product or the service. Whatever link that you want to provide, you can do that here. If there are assets like, templates for social media or that kind of a thing, then you can also call that out here as well. And just above that, I'm going to add, here is your affiliate link to start promoting XYZ business. And then we're going to come back to the get affiliate link node. We're going to scroll down and we're looking for this ref link. We're just going to drag and drop that and then close it out. So Bob Jones of the XYZ business family. Okay, and then I'm going to put a few spaces, and at the bottom, I want to give them the opportunity to unsubscribe. And so we're going to come back to that in just a second, but let's come over here and add the last node for this workflow, which is mapping it to Airtable. So we're going to add Airtable, we're going to create a record and subscribers. Okay, then I'm going to open up the on-form submission node so that we can map this. So first name, last name, email, and then we need the first promoter ID. So we can come back over to this first HTTP node, and we're going to just grab this first field, which is the first promoter ID. And then we're going to toggle the subscribe button on because they're going to be automatically subscribed to our emails until they opt out, which I'm going to show you in just a second. Okay, so I'm going to execute this node and this node just to get the data through. Okay, and if we come back over to our Airtable database, we see my test come through over here. Okay, we're going to save that, and then we're going to build the second workflow out, which is the functionality that allows someone to unsubscribe. So if an affiliate decides, I just want my affiliate link and I don't want to get any more emails from you, we need to give them that option. Otherwise, you will get in big trouble. And you don't want to open yourself up to liability or the business that you're building this for. Okay, so we're going to create another workflow. And this one is going to start with a webhook. And we're going to leave it as get. And we're going to change the path to unsub. I'm going to leave it to respond immediately just for now. And I'm going to call this unsub demo. But basically, what we just need to do is come in here. We're going to grab our production URL. So we're going to click this. And what we're going to do is come back over to our previous workflow. And we're going to come in here to send a message. So we're going to add the unsubscribe functionality in the email that we send them. Okay, so let's come back over here. And I'm just going to paste the link that I just copied right below. All right, and what we're going to do is just put a question mark and equal sign, and then we're going to just drag over the affiliate ID from the previous node. And so now what that does is it dynamically maps their affiliate ID, which is linked in the Airtable database, so that if this person decides to unsubscribe, we're going to build it in such a way that that webhook is going to get triggered and trigger them to be unsubscribed within Airtable. So let me show you how that works. Okay, so I have some pinned data in here that we're going to use just for illustration purposes. But what we're going to do next is first search records in Airtable. So we need an Airtable node. We're going to be search records. And this is what the webhook is going to look like whenever somebody clicks that button that says unsubscribe at the bottom of their email. So this is how we're going to map it. So I'm going to connect it to the appropriate Airtable database and to the subscribers table. And we're going to add this formula. So we're going to put curly brackets, first promoter ID, and close curly brackets, space, equals. And then we are going to drag and drop their first promoter ID from this webhook. So if we scroll all the way down, right here under where it says query, this ID, that is what we're looking for. So we're going to drag and drop this. And so it's going to look like this. So basically what this is going to be telling Airtable is search for the record where the first promoter ID is 12345. So if I come over to my Airtable database, that's going to be this record right here. And so as you can see, it's currently subscribed. And what we're going to do is instruct Airtable to uncheck this box, thereby unsubscribing them from our emails. Okay, so we're going to execute this step. And so you can see that it found that record. And so now we're going to come back to our canvas and add an Airtable node where we're going to update a record because we're going to tell Airtable, hey, we want you to uncheck that subscribe box. Okay, so once again, connecting it to the base and table, my subscribers table. And so I'm going to use the Airtable ID to match. So I'm just going to drag and drop that from the search records node. And I'm going to delete everything, email, first name, last name, and first promoter ID. And then I'm going to leave this subscribed button toggled off. And so that is what's going to mark them as unsubscribed, which is exactly what we want. Okay, so let's execute this step to test it. Okay, and if I come back over to my Airtable database, you can see the subscribed button was unchecked. And so now we have a way to control whether somebody is subscribed or unsubscribed on an individual level, thereby staying compliant. If you're finding this helpful, hit the like button, subscribe, and this is the very last step to building out this entire system. Okay, so we're going to come into our webhook, and we are going to change the respond dropdown to using respond to webhook node. And now we need to add that respond to webhook node. So come back over here and add that last node. So respond to webhook. Okay, so we are going to add a property. The response code is going to be 302. And basically what this is going to do is redirect the user to a new page. So after they click that unsubscribe button, this is going to send them to a page that says, hey, thanks, you've been unsubscribed. Basically closing the loop with that person so that they know they've been unsubscribed. Okay, we're going to need to add response headers. So this is going to be called location. And now we need a value for the URL that we're going to send them to or redirect them to. Okay, so I just have a text editor open right now. And this is what our unsubscribe page is going to look like. So you've been unsubscribed. Thanks for letting us know. Pure and simple. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to save that as index.html. So it's saved as an HTML file, and then I'm going to add it to a folder. So let me show you what that looks like. Okay, so I'm on Mac. It's obviously going to look slightly different if you're on a Windows computer, but this is my saved index.html file, and it's saved in a folder called unsub. Now, I don't want to build out an entire website or something crazy that's going to be time consuming just to tell people that they've unsubscribed from my mailing list. So I'm going to put you onto something really freaking cool. So you can come here to app.netlify.com/drop. And what we're going to do is drag and drop that whole folder. So it's the unsubscribed folder that contains that index.html file. We're going to just drag and drop it right here. And basically what this does is it hosts a static page, but sign up for a free account because then it will just host your file and you don't have to pay for it. And now you can redirect people to that page. So let me sign into my Netlify account. Okay, so now if I click that link that we just created, which is right here, which also we are copying and pasting, but this is where it takes us to. So now we have a URL that we can use in our n8n workflow to let people know, thanks, you've been unsubscribed. Okay, so then we're just going to paste that value here in this field, and we can click here and test this step, and the node was executed successfully. And so that means whenever people unsubscribe, it's going to redirect them to that page just to close the loop with them, let them know they're unsubscribed, and then the Airtable database is going to reflect that as well. And just one last thing I want to clean up. So I'm going to come back to the main referral workflow, open up the Gmail node, and I am actually going to add a little bit of HTML just so that way how this is going to appear to the person receiving the email is the word unsubscribe is going to be hyperlinked, and then it's going to have the dynamically mapped unsubscribe webhook link. And like I mentioned, all of the JSON blueprints for n8n and the link to import the Airtable base into your account are going to be linked down below in the description.
This system is plug and play. You can run it for yourself, your clients, or even sell it as a white label service. Set it up once and it runs 24/7 in the background, turning happy customers into new business. So whether you're a business owner or a freelancer, this is your sign to start making more money with referral workflows like this. If you want to see more content like this that helps businesses make more money and gets you paid in the process, hit the like button and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.